Walking Dead Season 3 ends today as I hand out 2-for-1 passes like I was giving away free meals at Arby's.
And a top bun? This shit look nasty as fuck!
Hey, wait, where you going? This 2-for-1 is actually worth it as we finish the last 2 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 3. Last episode, David got overthrown and kicked out of the party with Joan consolidating her power while Clint, who you'd have to use carbon dating to find out his age, does nothing but stand on his hands and knees for her. What will happen to us? Will we get thrown into Siberia? Or worse, be forced to watch The Last Airbender on repeat? Wait till the end of the video for news on Season 4 of The Walking Dead on crack, of course, as well as all the decisions I made for both episodes. In any case, let's go smoke some crack off Dr. Lingard's dying suicidal body and play The Walking Dead Season 3 on crack, the finale. Game starts off back in Disneyland where me and David are practicing for our burgeoning baseball careers. Although considering the picture has David playing Twister and Javi got booted from the league for Michael Jordan reasons, it seems we're preparing for the start of the season with the YMCA Swimmers up against household names like Bobby I Have to Leave Early, My Kids Gotta Play, and Timmy the Plumber. So just like the guys the real Michael Jordan was up against. A little kid who haircuts are a foreign concept to evidently was trained by Toph from The Last Airbender and is able to see through the weeds and finds me asking for an autograph. An autograph you can sell on eBay for about $10 it seems. I've really hit rock bottom, haven't I? I hit the next pitch with assault and I'm not talking about the condiment as David gets pissy and says we're going to Columbine after this, but he makes the mistake of not buying a VPN. As the CIA lets him know they're always watching, which reminds me, this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Hey, nah, I'm just kidding. I missed the next swing so badly David gets pissy and runs off. Ah, come on, I'll sign your baseball. You can make $10 off that, right?
It's Javi the Star thinking he's better than me.
What about 2 baseball? But I'm not the problem as he wants to go redeem himself and the US Army by bombing a hospital in Afghanistan again since he's always fighting with Kate. But unlike enemies with loads of oil, I mean weapons of mass destruction of course, he can't kill her. And unless he can teach Kate Arabic, we gotta hatch up a plan where David gets addicted to cigarettes over the next 2 months before going to the store to buy more. And I'm all for that until he tells me at the end that I'll have to be the new David and take care of his family for him. I don't agree with this, but he threatens to put a turban on my head when I'm asleep and call Obama to call in a drone strike, so I have no choice. Back in the modern day, we're back in the shower room as Chinny Chin Chinless here forgot who saved his ass all those days ago, and apparently, we attacked Joan. That's revisionist history if I've ever seen it. Buddy, I have a PhD in genocidology. If I wanted to try shit, Joan would be on the floor of this shower room gasping for breath. I quickly bite my tongue as old McDonald rolls through, but all I can hear is... This man is possessing a felonious amount of crack in his mouth, being tongue deep into Joan's asshole right now and not coming out anytime soon.
Just relax and trust in the process.
How many chips does Philly have, Clint? The process doesn't work. David laments at how he fell for Joan's master bait, and I remind him about how he wanted to abandon his family, but he stayed.
Yeah, you talked me out of it.
I'm not gonna stand in your way.
I did what? We deduced that Jones got a hold of Magic Johnson's blood and contaminated the water supply, so we have to find our way out. Committing to stick with each other as we give each other a bro fist before Joan comes in with David telling her that she can't shoot without the perk 30s before she refutes the claim, saying that these are only her shooters. She's going to call a gathering in Tiananmen Square tomorrow, an ill omen for sure. She already has her speech prepared about how David is a threat to our democracy and how he needs to be silenced to protect our freedom of speech before she takes David away to be humanely interrogated thoroughly, following every step of the Geneva process with waterboarding and whips. I plan to take control of this prison by rigging the shower system to immediately cause a soap drop to my victim's surprise is thwarted, so I decide life isn't worth living anymore as I take the chair, write my note, I mean climb up the bars and try prying them loose until... I'm Batman. Oh hey, it's a Nick! Aber Gabe Lincoln came to the prison attempting to free the slaves, but he only got me as David is still under supervision. We learn there's a herd of LARPers outside getting ready to recreate the fall of Rome as we continue to trek across the Underground Railroad. He tells me that Eleanor found a place as I thank him, letting him know he's Hemi Neutron. He asks if his dad is going to be okay, to which I let him know the news that he's going to be trotted out in Tiananmen Square tomorrow, leaving him to slump knowing his dad's fate. He says we need to convince Kate to stay and fight the good fight for Dad, which is is exactly what we're gonna do. Slave hunters! Quickly evading the gaze of the NPCs who seem to be controlled by the same AI that made Cyberpunk, as they fail to notice enemies 5 feet away from them. Afterwards, we get the intro where the town, it seems, is preparing for war, beginning episode 4, Thicker Than Water. Kind of a dumb name when you think about it. I mean, unless it's air, literally anything is thicker than water. We could be talking about anything from honey to the weight of my war crimes on my shoulders, to an A cup even.
I've been thinking hard about this, and I really think we should be a thing.
Existential dread aside, Trip sounds like he's awkwardly rehearsing to confess to Eleanor in front of a mirror. He's gonna need a lot more practice.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, our boy's gonna need a tub of ice cream and a Juice WRLD playlist in a few minutes. Kate gives me a hug as Jada, Smith, and me give each other the respectable acquaintances who aren't very familiar with each other nod before Conrad tells me I'm just in time to enjoy the shit show about to ensue. I immediately enter, though. I gotta stop Trip from further embarrassing himself and me second-handedly at the risk of getting called a cockblock, although at this point his cock might as well be in a chastity cage. Locked up for 20 to life at least. He's already done enough damage himself. Trip asks for good news, so I tell him Joan launched a coup d'etat and we have to stop her, exasperating Kate, who says,
We still need to get out of here, Javi.
a true TCLR subscriber would never abandon family. If World War III happens and you find yourself in a serious situation near Moscow, just play the music, and immediately 50 Titans close in on your location. Eleanor tells us to look out the window, where we seem to have made the mistake of saying 1,000-year-old lollies aren't just harmless drawings, as every pedo within the country is zeroed into our location. Trip makes the brilliant remark of us needing to get some guns. My goodness, that mine needs to be preserved immediately. That might be humanity's greatest treasure, you fucking dumbass.
You two have fun with that.
I know where there's guns. My dad showed me. There are lots.
The armory. Good idea.
But didn't you, I mean, you just said, didn't you already? Well, it seems the barber cut a little lower than you wanted and shaved off some of your parietal lobe with that lack of brain function. After Ava's neurons made like Challenger and failed to launch, me and the boys get to going as we decide a small group is best, but Trip isn't coming since he's trying to fix the damage he caused with Eleanor. Yeah, alright there, buddy. Unless Mr. Clean is hiding behind one of those doors with some flex tape in his back pocket, you ain't fixing shit. Acting like me in 8th grade near a girl, palms sweaty, knees weak, 5th arm heavy, but I wish him luck, leaving just the 3 of us as SEAL Team Disney live-action remake for a modern audience heads out. There's a guard in front of the armory as Ava goes to distract him while I let Gabe know, don't do anything stupid or impulsive. Got it? Yeah. She takes him out back for a BJ. Well, considering he somehow has a pencil-thin beard and a neck beard, we have about 30 seconds at best for this heist. We sneak through and find a locked door before I decide it's a fantastic idea to use the loud fire extinguisher to extinguish the lock, as we are loaded. They even brought my baseball bat before Ava spooks me and says we have to do right by this place. You're about to see my best impersonation of Usain Bolt the second we free David. As me and Gabe are leaving, someone else comes in, forcing us to hide in the closet. I'm gonna do something stupid. Gabe, don't you dare. Gabe comes out the closet, and just like in any religious family, he gets his ass beat. It's a good thing my master's in urbanosity gives me the strength to choke him out even with a knife to my arm as Ava comes in, lambasting our retardation, telling me we have to get this looked at by Dr. Lingard. We can trust him since he's close friends with David and won't rat us out. Although now she's like, nah, you go in there by yourself. We're gonna stay out here where it's safe, inspiring confidence. I walk in to see Clementine rub in and shit a true successor to Kenny, as Lingard's ass can't tell her where AJ is since he's passed out cold. Wait. A heroin user? That is heresy, Deus Vault, my brethren. Clem tells me she can stitch my arm for me, showing me her arm that inspires no confidence whatsoever, making her look like Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, but it's better than nothing. Wait a minute. Carlos stitches me up, and at the very least he knows. Didn't Carlos look at her arm in season 2 after she stitched it? Why wouldn't he redo the stitches He really was a fake duck.
Whatever it was, it got you.
I ask if Clem's okay, and
I started bleeding.
Javi gives a statement so bad it makes me want to join the ranks of radical feminism and lynch Harry Potter enjoyers, so we decide to ask Lingard for an expert opinion. I hit him with the 6 beers deep in a 12-pack to the wife attack, but he's too out of it for even my special move. We find codeine, but Clem tells us to put it back, although I want to see what happens if they catch me with the painkiller, so I take it anyway. And this is TCLR from the future. I shit you not when I say this plot point was never brought up again all series. I decide to look through the green cross and find stitches before we cut to Javi looking submissive and breedable, might I add, as Clem says the words that would worry any minority. I apologize for being absolutely awful about the bleeding stuff, as I somehow make things even worse. Just shut up, Javi. As this motherhood claim reminds Clem of AJ, giving us another flashback, the last one of the series actually, ending the bonus lore for Clementine. We get back to the RV, cry our sorrows away until Ava shows up and hands us a goodie bag filled with some beans and energy bar. Wow, your hospitality knows no bounds, huh? I sift through and find a drawing made by AJ who seems to have went through a schizophrenic episode, assuredly after David got him on that soldier grind set. Man's gonna be rocking a 2003 Toyota Corolla looking like this next time I see him. She tells me I need to find my purpose as I tell her about Lee, letting her know he still speaks to me. Okay, well I guess we know where AJ got a schizophrenic from, huh?
He's still with you, you know. Here.
No, he's not, you idiot. He's ascended to a higher plane as he now controls this mortal realm ever since man made furries and God went, nope, I'm starting over. Lee, you can have this now. But my mission fails to convert her as I shake her hand and we come back to the present. After stitching me up, drowning myself in so much debt I have to ask Grease for help in managing my finances, Lingard wakes up as he tells me David isn't making it out as we get into an argument about the true meaning of Vin Diesel's words about family. A real philosophical lecture until Clem asks where AJ is, but Lingard draws some morphine from, okay, not heroin, but it's in the same family of drugs. Keep that shit away from me, you scum of the earth. He has the audacity to tell a devout crackerist like myself to inject the killing dose into him before he tells me where AJ is. Despite Clementine's pleas, I can't do it. Goes against everything I stand against. I give him the heretical artifact back and tell him to do it himself, having to stop Clem from going over to the dark side. As we leave, he tells us Joan is rounding up the counter-revolutionaries as we speak in another great purge and we have to get out of here quick. We meet Ava and Gabe, who immediately starts going to work, by the way. Thanks for letting me borrow your Lambo, buddy. We get back home and start distributing the guns as Gabe saved the last one for Clem.
No, I've already got one.
Why? Why?
Thanks for running into a tornado to save my grandma, bro.
Wouldn't hurt to have another.
I tell Clem to go talk to Kate as we tell everyone Joan's rounding up the traitors, and Eleanor goes, maybe this isn't so bad. They like me, that has to help somehow. Doesn't matter. Their leadership prefers injectable drugs. This is a crusade now. I let them know I'm not gonna wait around in a maid costume bent over with some lube waiting for them as Tripp gives me the 6-figure salary with khakis and a white picket fence response as we decide an assassination mission is our best bet. Problem is, Joan has the NKVD following her as Javi decides taking the CIA strat of Banana Republic overthrows as our best bet. Tripp's fat ass says if he races 100 people, he'd come in 102nd. Ava directs us to a place where we can find a truck that can carry even Tripp's heart attack in the near future is a likely outcome ass. Following another Polo Shirt Country Club membership remark from Tripp, Kate comes out and asks Eleanor to take a look at my stitches.
As long as he keeps it clean, it should be okay.
Okay, now I understand how a zombie virus came and infected 95% of the world. If this is the training you guys give your doctors even less than police officers require, it's no wonder the human race in this universe has reservations beside the dodo bird. How the hell is Clementine the best doctor the series has showed so far? I let them know Gabe made a decision that would firmly put him in a class with more teachers than students in the old world as he gets angry before he rambles on about plans he's got as we let him know he ain't no shooter and his even numbered chromosomes make him a liability, actually. Conrad, after already getting revenge, says he's sitting this one out as he gives some goodbyes and heads out to hide out the Walker herd. Eleanor doesn't think dive-bombing Joan and leaving is a particularly good idea, but we ignore her pleas as everyone else is on board with the mission and we head out. Me, Kate, and Gabe leave to get the truck, Eleanor and Tripp get supplies, and Ava will be the lookout, letting us know when it's good to drive through. At the junkyard, I take Clem to help me get the truck.
think I should go with you, actually.
It's because she's got a bachelor's in urbanation. You can't even get in with your, help me, I'm retarded looking ass. Clem comes through and has his ass on a leash as Kate gives her shit. We find the truck and it's somehow open as someone is going to Siberia after this, but the future purge victims woke up and we have to push this truck out before hot wiring it. We need some pliers to hot wire the car. Well, it's a good thing I have found some in this not at all obvious setup for a walker attack. Oh no, I am positively taken aback. After stabbing him, I break open the dashboard and turn the battery on, attracting the herd coming at us at a lightning speed of Mach 0.01, which turns into Mach 10 the second the QuickTime event starts playing as I last second start the car and we roll our way out, leaving the guards to stand alone at Thermopylae. We park a few blocks away as this is the most untrying to be funny sequence I have ever been a part of. Gabe decides to teach Clem Ukri, whatever the fuck that is, and he's spitting game. He's got her laughing and shit, my goodness. Palms are dry, knees strong, arms are light. It's a sight to behold.
Guess he stopped playing it cool with her. In case you haven't noticed, Gabe's got a little crush on Clementine.
As long as it doesn't go anywhere.
You're saying you don't think they're adorable together?
It's complicated, Gabe. Clem's got history.
It's not Gabe I'm worried about. Fucker better keep his hands off Clem unless he wants to join Mariana.
When I was his age and I liked a girl, I was a fucking wreck. Sweaty palms and stomach aches.
Boners behind math books? We knew.
They what? That explains a lot, actually. It's at this moment the shenanigans ensues as Kate professes her love for me and how David doesn't matter and we should be happy together as I don't know what to pick. Why is this a quick time event? Fuck it, I'll let the game decide.
Should have stayed quiet. I guess you don't feel the same way.
Fuck it, I'm too deep into it now.
No, I don't believe it. You felt something, Javi. I know you did. Fuck that. And fuck you fucking coward.
Look at Gabe's face. He's just giving that look you give your uncle when he locks the basement door after he follows you down there. Ava breaks the silence as we have to go on foot to avoid her executing David. I get to Joan, whose politicianing skill is entering the stratosphere. We have to execute David to protect our democracy and way of life. As she whips out Max. No! She pinned the blame on him, although to be fair, Kevin McAllister probably just got sick of his shit and ensured the next trap he fell into would be his last. She calls me out from the crowd as I give a smile and say I'd love to debate you. I can play this game too, Joan. She lets us know that Eleanor betrayed us, but I'm not fazed, giving her a smile and a speech of my own. My fellow shit. She's got the prisoners. Clinton is trust the process is Zoomerknuckle. Joan would go this far as she says I have to save one. For democracy's sake, of course. I call her out on her shit with that Stalin grind set, but she has control of the military and threatens the kids, forcing me to chew. It's Trip. I mean, I haven't had a single conversation with Ava, whereas Trip, well, not my boy. He still has some potential.
Shoot it!
I should have known! Oh wait, bitch is getting what she deserves. Nah, isn't all bad, I guess. Clint finally lets go of Joan's balls for long enough to tell her to exile us instead of purge us. Although with the giant herd outside, this is a no-win situation. Look at that shit-eating grin. She's expecting us to walk the plank into the sea of walkers and like it. I'd feel pretty confident too. I mean, there's no way I'd attempt to shoot her when she has guns trained in our position, and without Kenny and Lee, our urban powers aren't sufficient enough to stop all her shooters. So there's no way I'd even attempt to I forget David was on a noose. It's fine though, as I take the split second I need to ingest some crack, giving me the superpowers I need to dodge bullets. Shoot first is me. And Gabe freed David, who convinces Gabe to help him go after old MacDonald. I see Clem getting outflanked, but I'm John Wick with the switch. She gives me shit for shooting Joan. Yeah, there's no way she'd keep her word. She's a communist. Kate calls us and we tell her to bring the truck through until someone throws a switch in a can at our location, forcing us to get out. But as I'm wrestling with the NKVD officer, Conrad is back. Sharing the same skin tone as Lee, I knew he couldn't let us down. Kate rolls through, but a Molotov cocktail has her doing swerves in an empty parking lot as she crashes into the wall. Well, it's a good thing she was wearing a seatbelt. Fuck. The walkers start storming in. As that ends off episode 4, I'll show all the choices at the end, but we get a quick break in episode 5 where we're playing Dominoes with Papa as David ends up winning. Roasting my ass medium rare. Oh, come on now, that's a little too far.
Pay up, little brother, if you can.
I'll cover for Javier.
Damn, Javi can't even pay $10? Never mind. He does deserve to be roasted. I find a letter though as Swiper the Fox snatches it from me, telling us that Dad has cancer. This average honorary TCLR subscriber doesn't care though. He's more sad about the Dominoes game he lost. At least I won't have to pay back his $10 though. He hasn't told Mama, and neither will any of us unless we want Casper and his Crips to join him in haunting us. When we ask about treatment, well, are you kidding? We're in America, we can't afford that. He says he doesn't want anyone to pay for his treatment before lamenting at how we refuse to take part in the transgender movement as, hey, I am the pretty one. Eventually we convince him by telling him no balls he won't take the treatment, forcing his hand. Finally he tells me that we both have to be brothers and stick up for each other, helping each other through this trying time, as a legacy is the only thing anyone ever leaves behind before I agree to try my absolute best. Also, being the boss went through elephantiasis giga chad he still has to pay back David despite the cancer. Back in the present, I Rambo my way through the horde as not even SEAL Team Pale can stop my no-look behind the head before blasting this walker so hard he has to leave for the Last of Us set. I don't find Kate in the car as he threatens me.
What?
David thinks a walker is Kate, who turns out to be NPC 45, and just as our goose is cooked, dark titty milked, and egg fried, Kate comes out of nowhere to save the day.
Kate, I'm so glad.
You okay?
Whoa. David gets angry, rightfully so to be fair, but there's no time for that. Clem, I'm coming! She's never in any danger as she was just teaching Gabe what she knows in hopes of him getting his urbanation license. There's too many of them, so we have to hide in the building as we build a barricade at blink and you'll miss it lightning speed. Gabe gets mad I killed Joan. Ah, come on. A little negotiation isn't enough to stop a good shot. She was giving me that you won't do it grin. David sides with me and Gabe calls him a heartless murderer, storming off. Clem uses her expertise to defuse this situation, and her and Gabe and David go to scour the perimeter for any minorities like a good soldier would do, while me and Kate go upstairs to find survivors. Well, they're alive, I guess.
Mommy, it's them.
Damn right it is.
So many children became orphans today because of us.
Vanessa, Sabrina, Christina, Aaliyah.
She says we have to try and fix things. We? Get that friend shit out of your mouth. We didn't blow a hole into the wall because we thought replacing the brakes was optional. Episode 5, From the Gallows. Oh, come on, that's about one episode too late, game. We walk into Eleanor's room and this bitch has the audacity to blame me for Tripp's death when she and Randall Weems ratted us out, giving Joan our plans, who was going where, time of execution, social security number, and past employments.
But you've got a lot of nerve showing up here.
You have a lot of nerve being alive.
Bitch. What the hell you doing? Proving the Iranians right? Well, it's working. She goes on, silly Javi, I wasn't betraying you. I was triaging a bad situation as she tries explaining her rationale. But fuck that bitch. If I see you around again, I'm sliding.
Oh, dang!
The fucker who didn't reciprocate my generosity of ignoring my itch to kill episode 1 shows up and he's bitten.
Ooh, yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Cut his arm off!
It's too far along. I'm sorry.
No, wait, I'll do it. Hey guys, watch this. It's gonna be good. Hey, shh. Oh no, it seems I've caused him to go into shock. Oh man, that's awful. Well, I tried.
What the?
If you don't take your woke up at the 5th guy's house this week looking ass out of my face before I get serious. Kate steps in and says she's the same bro and she knows how it feels, and talk no jutsus her ass, but it doesn't work as she aims back at me until David out of nowhere treats her arm like a piece of choppable wood at karate practice. And then he kills Fern, fuck that bitch. I thank him for saving my life after the 7 seconds or less widow tried to blast me, but she goes for her gun again, and David, after defending himself as he's 100% in the right here, gets tackled by Gabe again. She was aiming for a gun. He had the right to fire. I side with David for obvious reasons, but Mahatma Gandhi over here saying make peace not war, blech. Who needs to hear that?
So I'm all alone.
What? No, I I made the crucial mistake of believing my choices mattered in a Telltale game. My apologies as David storms out. You know what? I'm sick of this shit. Rest of the game I'm playing is the biggest scumbag possible. Fuck y'all who forced me into this relationship with Kate and against David. I come up to him at the edge of the 13th reason as I tell him to get back down from there.
Or are you afraid of me too?
Unless you're a federal agent of the Netherlands or Germany, I'm not. He offers me a seat right beside him as I say fuck it, double suicide it is. He seems to be a lot more stable though than most people standing at the edge of a building would be as he starts mapping out his XCOM tactics and asks me if he can change from being a soldier. Shit bro, just pick up a hobby. It really isn't that hard. I finally get him to step back as Kate meets us with Gabe and Ava. Well, this won't be awkward.
Ava, about earlier.
You don't have to say anything to me. Your actions said plenty.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing, dumbass. I'm saying I'd do it again. The 4chaners have taken control of the city as we decide to go find the bulldozer Gabe saw all the way on the other side of the city to treat the walkers like residential homes in the way of my perfect mall. We have to make a jump, and as I clench my outer anal muscles to their fullest extent, I realize that wasn't needed as everyone makes it across. David asks why Kate ignored him earlier and went straight to me, and me not wanting to find out what Iraqi civilians go through, tell him to just ask her, knowing that if she tells him the truth, he'll do what every good soldier does and domestically assault his wife, locking him up before he can get to me. It's ingenious. We get to a pride protester who made the mistake of being the lone leftist in a 4chan crowd. Okay, well, more accurate than I thought to 4chan as they get into gay butt sex right after. No doubt already planning the I'm not gay, but before posting the gayest green text imaginable. Gabe is embarrassed he ever looked up to his dad. He was also shit-talking me behind my back, but Gabe comes around and says I can be his new daddy. Wait, no, I was taken out of context.
It seems there has been a huge misunderstanding.
After recreating our favorite scene of Infinity War, we decide it's in our best interest to save David, even though he still hasn't done shit in my eyes. Well, this is just great, and not a trap waiting to happen. I decide to let everyone I care about go first, since it'll probably be the last few people who get RKO'd by the car, which was almost me until Ava saves my ass. Thank you, Ava. I'm hoping we can continue developing this relationship after you broke past your hate for me and saved me from certain death.
Holy shit!
Oh my god! Ava! Fuck! God damn it, no!
Well, that was by far the least impactful death scene I personally have ever witnessed. Truly, Thurn dying had me down worse than Ava. This was the worst possible death. She didn't even sacrifice. After writing Ava out of the story in the worst way imaginable, we get to a helicopter not knowing what to do next. Clementine asks me my thoughts on why David let AJ go. It wouldn't make sense unless he hated him, but he quickly dispels our fears and says Father Christmas came in with the belt last winter and devastated crops, forcing him to give up AJ for his safety. A reasonable explanation.
He was your responsibility, no matter what.
Fuck you, David, you piece of shit. Best hope you don't die today, else I'll be pissing on your corpse. Being a man, I understand what it's like to have a helicopter in my pants and use that to knowledgeably devise a plan on how to get to the other side. We go lightest to heaviest, but Gabe swipes up this opportunity to be a gentleman and David gives him a lecture. Nothing wrong here.
David, he's got this.
She's right. I do.
Okay, well, I guess they're doing the same thing they did with Kenny last episode of Season 2 and try to paint him as a bad guy in the absolute worst way imaginable, since everything he's done so far, like Kenny, has made complete sense. Gabe swings across first, followed by Clem and Kate as it's my turn next, but beauty before brawn, big guy, or should we ask Dad who's sexier again? After some foreshadowing and David making it across, I go now. Oops. No matter though, I am the main character as I take the walker by the spine and pin him to the bridge as I show my baseball enhanced endurance and climb to the other side just as we drew it up. Kate begins flirting with me again, leaving me to already feel the slap David is about to descend upon my cheeks. Surely the worst has come to pass, right? Yeah, okay. Gabe finds a generator we can use to distract the walkers as David is impressed, praising his son who continues to shit on him. This makes me feel bad for David who still ain't done shit. And Clem who's just enjoying the show, honestly. Lee then makes an appearance as only a mind as developed, based, and urban can come up with the Walker Guts idea, a true evolution to our humble species. We try deciding who should go in.
You let Conrad use me as trade. That wasn't very polite.
You just literally eat shit all day long. Is that why you smell so bad?
Bloods for life. I get to the generator, turn it on as the walkers are fascinated by this contraption, allowing us to get into the garage and get to the bulldozer. Until David says, fuck Richmond, let's get out of here, to which Kate is again. She feels guilty for blowing a hole into their wall. That's a fair point, honestly. That genocidal outcome is even beyond my wildest expectations. But it was their fault for trying to, number one, lynch us, and number two, throwing a Molotov cocktail at you. Also, Joan acting like a grand wizard didn't really help.
We're going home, Kate. Back to the last place we were a family. We're starting over. We're all together again. Finally.
Of all the dumb shit ever been said in this game, this right here takes the cake. I just don't even need to talk about this. Gabe shockingly joins his dad as Clem.
I'll go with you, Dad.
Gabe!
He's my father, Clem. I'm sorry, but he really wouldn't understand.
Holy shit, he really went up to Clem and said, Kate understands, but her guilt still forces her back to the chagrin of David, and before I can say both their plans are equally retarded, David orders everyone to...
Everybody get in. That's an order.
I can't believe I ever loved you. I can't believe I ever loved either of you.
What? And by the way, me? Bobby, what the hell is she talking about?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Just trying to pick out my coffin. Oh, thank God she made it clear I didn't love her. Surely now David would attack. Okay. What do I say? Worth it. I can fight him back, but I remember what Papa told me that faithful night. I love you, brother. He proceeds to engineer my escape to heaven until Clementine says, get off him, bitch. Damn, she almost shot him too. We escape into the garage until David closes it behind us as he and Gabe leave in a truck. Kate does not give a fuck about her former family and says, we gotta go help Richmond. Clementine says, she's got me. If I have 100 fans, she's one of them. 1,000, she's one of them. No fans, she's dead type B. Now this is the most important decision of all game. Follow Kate or go after David and Gabe, and as Clem puts it, I can't save everybody. After a few millennia, I choose to go after Gabe and David since Kate's got a bulldozer. Ain't no way she dies in that thing. We tell her to be safe as me and Clem escape okay, why is this so funny?
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
We follow the roadkill while recording our ISIS audition video, and we get to Gabe and David presumably saying being attracted to ponies is weird, a little too loud, and are trapped. Javi proves his urbanness using his bad hand to snipe 3 walkers in a row as he hits us with another no-look save before God quickly releases a patch preventing him from using bullets. But he's still more busted than popcorn kernels in an industrial-grade oven, looking like he's got the pitching machine turned on to World War I machine gunner status with how fast he's swinging. I need say not about Clementine, of course. We already know in this ecosystem the walkers are afraid of her. We managed to save both Gabe and David, as it seems this little shit is the reason for the second episode in a row that main characters almost died. And he apologizes for being a little shithead, which he is, mind you, but he's our little shithead. Disney XD scenes aside, David and me reminisce on his dumbassery assuredly enough to astound even our father would still whip us in a game of Dominoes to steal our lunch money. I tell him we're going back to help Kate, who decided to enter a Red Cross era of her life, an episode after she wanted to dip as fast as possible. But David says he can't do it before starting to walk away. I tell this fucker if he doesn't get his brown Afghani genociding, neck like Post Malone, cowboy looking ass back, he's a bitch for real. Anyways, the rest of us make our way back to Richmond, leaving David to wallow in his misery. We come back to the side of Alexander and his companion cavalry rolling through like this was Persia with Jesus at his head. I climb up to open the gate using my supreme deductive skills to press every button randomly until the gate opens. After Napoleon leads the counterattack at Waterloo, me and Clem go looking for Kate as we see she even plugged the hole in the wall, saving Richmond, completing her character development. Aside from a potential death scene that would leave her immortalized as a hero. We see she switched sides, and after 30 minutes of Clementine's cluelessness is on full display, but she eventually sees her too. I'm left with a decision reminiscent of episode 1 and, depending on your choices, episode 2, which lacks the feel of the first 2 seasons because of Kate's glaring lack of urbanness. Gabe appears and begins to grieve and, hey, look at this guy, decided to come back. Finally, we get a new dun with hopeful lighting on a picture, but why the fuck is this bitch ruining a perfectly good memorial? Or the hell is her grave? I gotta go number 2. I placed the martyr of Richmond on the board who died off screen in the worst way possible aside from Ava, of course. Maybe she should have just come with us first to get Gabe and then went back to Richmond. But there's about as much common sense in this game as Telltale has decisions that matter, although to be fair, in this standalone season, the choices did mostly matter, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, after Gabe tells me, "Oh man, don't you wish you would have found out what happened if you replayed the game so we can get a better runtime?" I know I would. I get outside to Conrad reading Revelations 4:20, a book Francine recommended him, as I am astonished a determinate character is actually determinate and potentially can live. Jesus proceeds to suck me off, thinking I came back to save this community out of the goodness of my heart. Yeah, that's what I did. Until he ordains me as this town's new leader, which immediately puts all the evangelists into my corner, giving me the power base I need to secure the next election. A second determinate character list? Nah, there's no way Telltale worked on this game. He says he's going to try and live and look for something to live for until Clementine threatens to operate on his kneecaps if she doesn't tell her where AJ is before he promptly informs us that Uncle Phil got his hands on the kid first. Oh god, we have to go quickly before he becomes permanently traumatized.
A real working ranch. That would be...
Clem informs us of her impending departure and wants me to do one more thing to give first season fans a reason to buy this game. As I'm cutting her hair, she tells me how she's gonna miss Gabe and I have the opportunity of sabotaging my trust with Gabe. Clem asks if I think AJ will remember her. Yeah, not with that haircut, he won't. Looking like you're about to walk into the local Walmart and cause a communist uprising because you couldn't read the batteries not included in the vibrator you just bought. She doesn't think she was a good mom before I quickly reassure her she was by giving her a freebie of a question. She asks me how I survived after I was forced to give up baseball. What? Listen, I know sports are important to a lot of people and all, but I don't think you'd be bonsai charging off the edge of the Empire State Building, because you were kicked from the league. I give her hat back to stop her from getting bullied next season, coming soon by the way, as we send her off looking like she's about to walk into the boardroom getting ready to fire 3 single mothers, 2 new fathers, and a Holocaust victim to increase company profits by 0.2% as we wave goodbye to her. And this season's story ending off season 3. Now I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. I mean, I might be biased because choices mattered this game, but aside from episode 2, the story made sense and I personally enjoyed it. In any case, check out my other content if you enjoyed, and for season 4 I'm gonna be posting this giant 5 episodes in 1 video coming out in the next couple of weeks to cap off The Walking Dead on crack. So subscribe to stay tuned for that. Now let's get into the decisions. 91% of us aren't heartless, 52% of us are secret psychopaths, 22% of us told Kate you're either fucking David or yourself, although in my case it was by accident. 57% of us are average TCLR subscribers. For episode 5 now, 54% of us wanted all the smoke as all decisions evidently led to the same outcome. 37% of us actually wanted the smoke, 64% of us have a sizable investment into OnlyFans, 53% if you deserve the gallows or guillotine, your choice, and for our relationships, our Clementine became a trusted fighter. Me and David were brotherly, me and Kate would have been close until I started looking at the 3 dots like it was the AT&T girl, Gabe was considerate, Tripp died in the trenches of Ukraine, it seems. Why Z of all things? Eleanor's relationship didn't really work out considering the fact she betrayed us before Matrix dodging accountability. Ava, always one for a fight, joined Russia's high command before a drone strike RKO'd her to hell. Lingard is alive, so fantastic. Maybe this heroin addict has time to repent for his sins. Conrad did the impossible and survived to the end after a determinant scene. Jesus likes us, and Clint is missing in action. Knowing Telltale, of course, that probably means he's dead. We get a post-credits scene where boss bitch Clem is running around like she owns the place, as we find out there will be a season 4. I mean, to be fair, there almost wasn't. In any case, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.